Hey, good morning. We are kicking off Summit Sunrise this morning with some very special guests here in the studio. I'm hanging out with Martin Eichinger, the artist in residence this weekend at the Breck Fine Art Gallery, and Paul Cohen, the director of the Breck Fine Art Gallery. And now, Martin, you are in town for what? Because you don't live here.
No, I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Where we're actually experiencing spring, so this is kind of a unique thing for me to actually have a weekend of winter. This is pretty exciting for me.
Okay, all right. Well, we're kind of getting used to that too. This whole winter thing. It's kind of a late arriving winter for us this season. But tell us what you're in town for.
Paul is having a special showing of my sculptures, and we brought in a few new ones and a couple of clay sculptures. So I'm going to sit there and work on a sculpture that no one has ever seen before.
Wow.
And see if I can bring it a little bit closer to its conclusion point. So I've got all my tools set up and a little turntable, so we'll be working for the whole weekend.
This is so exciting to me, because when have you ever seen a sculptor actually sculpt in front of you? And now, Paul, tell me a little bit about the method behind bringing these artists into the studio.
I think when people come in the gallery and they like someone's work, and a lot of people really admire the sculptures that Martin Eichinger does, you're trying to make a connection, because people aren't just buying a piece of art. What they're doing is they're buying, if you like, they're connecting emotionally and mentally with the artist and what he's trying to create. Well, the job gets an awful lot easier when the sculptor's there. He can talk to the people himself. They can understand a bit more about the piece. And oftentimes, too, it's really exciting. A lot of times the sculptors will get very involved with the clients, and they become their friends as well. So it's nice.
Every time I've been here, I've had a great time. It's always fun to get to know the people that Paul actually knows pretty well. People come into the gallery on a real regular basis. And so
they just hang out. I mean, literally, we had 2 couples in yesterday that'll be back this weekend. And they just come in. They've been coming in for 10 years, and they plan their trips to Breckenridge around the artist in residence shows. So it's fun.
I can completely understand, because it's this incredible, as I always say, it's a very magical experience. And can you explain a little bit about how your process works? Because you create a lot of your sculptures in a series, and so what's the idea behind that?
Are you talking about the technical process, or
the
mental process of coming up with the idea and the theme?
Let's start with the mental process, because I would guess that creating something like this, it's not something that just is easy to all right, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
The 2 that we brought with us are both from the same family or series, and they're sculptures that are talking about relationships. They're talking about athleticism, and they're talking about, in both of these cases, men supporting women. And so those were just themes that I was kind of playing with in my own life, and they seem to be significant enough to my friends and people who pay attention to what I do to try to capture them and turn them into something permanent rather than just an idea. And so this is the result of that. Actually, this sculpture, the one that we're looking at right now, was actually sculpted in the gallery.
It was the large version?
The large version of that was sculpted in the gallery.
I think it was 2007, something like that. And it's great. I mean, we just love the work. Jane, my wife, and I love Martin's work tremendously, and collect it as well, because there's a narrative, there's a story behind it, and they are about relationships, and that's important to just about everybody on the planet that I've ever met.
Right.
And so that people love the work. The thing about sculpture as well is it's not like flat art, which is beautiful too. It's 3-dimensional. You can touch it. There's not a bad side on a Martin Eichinger sculpture. It's beautiful from every single angle. And a lot of people have them. We'll just put them somewhere where they can just give them a spin, and wherever it stops, they can enjoy it from every angle. That's really special.
I like them right in the middle of the room, actually, with kneelers all around and candles burning.
I think that's an excellent way to display that. And when I was doing a little research on you, Martin, I was kind of stalking you, if you will. But I thought it was really interesting that a lot of your pieces, or just kind of showing the process on your website, that they start with a wire. So that is that is crazy. So underneath,
well,
this
it's not that
incredible
crazy.
work.
A painter usually starts with a pencil. Now he's putting this is my pencil line, using wires to try to get the basic idea, and then gradually add clay to it. But the wires stay flexible, so I can adjust them and move them.
Wow.
as I'm moving forward on the idea.
I just think it's so interesting.
What you're looking at right now actually are 3 brand new pieces, and you'll notice that these are the finished clay that Martin has sculpted with. And they're now at the foundry, aren't they, these 3 pieces,
Yeah,
I believe?
all 3 of them.
All
yeah.
3 of these pieces, and they're just beautiful. We have nice blow-ups of posters of these in the gallery today, but they're just stunning. And do you want to tell her a bit about these pieces?
In all of these photographs, you see some support structure that holds my wire frame in place. So those things obviously are not cast. They're just to keep the sculpture stable. Clay is bendable, and it's affected by gravity more than bronze is. The post that's underneath their feet, that's part of the sculpture. And we're calling this series postmodern as a little bit of a play on the post, and the fact that the characters on these posts are all a little bit funky. You know, they have a slightly different, almost circusy kind of a quality to them. They're all having fun.
And I love, also, I'm doing a little research about you, talking about your sculptures being kind of on the brink of possibility.
Yeah.
And I feel like that
Yeah.
applies to almost every single piece of yours that I've seen. Can you just explain that a little bit?
They're not on the brink. They're actually over the edge of possibility. I've had contortionists try to come in and actually perform these things, and they really can't get into these positions.
Wow.
So they're imagined first, and then when I'm trying to complete them and turn them into real beautiful pieces, I'll have somebody come in and model, but I'll only get them to model like one arm at a time.
Oh, wow.
I never get a whole body to be in a position. And so a lot of these are sculpted in my head mostly. They're not actually imitating anything that I'm seeing in real life.
That is just incredible. And you can see, I mean, obviously a little taste in the studio, just gorgeous. And you're right, I mean, any light, it's just incredible. So tell us when we can see Martin in the gallery.
Officially, the show is from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, Friday and Saturday. And I don't know whether sometimes Martin will come in earlier and hang out and sculpt if he's
probably
working.
going to be there all day.
And
you
the-
know, I want to get the sculptures done.
And that's another reason we ask the artists to bring their work with them, because they're actually,
there.
it does. And you know, people will come in through the day, they're on vacation. We can't tell them when they're going to come and when they're not. And if they see this in process, they'll often come back later in the day during the official show hours, you know, to do with licensing. That's all I'll say.
It's an incredibly magical experience, and it's really worthwhile to bring the entire family. And I love that too, that the gallery is so welcoming of people of all ages.
That's right. No, well, young ones deserve to be surrounded by fine art. And usually, as I mentioned before, it's the young ones. They'll walk by and they'll say, I want to go in and look at the statues, as they call the bronzes, you know. And so we love it. Families are welcome, and we'll have some nice refreshments throughout the day and everything. So Friday and Saturday, all day. We're open from 10 till 8. We're right on the corner of South Park and South Main. Can't miss us. Big purple awning.
All right. Well, make sure that you put it on your list of things to do this weekend. You're going to love this experience. And I just can't recommend it enough. It's definitely one of my favorite things to do here in the county. So thank you guys so much for coming on
thanks
this
for
morning,
having
making
us.
your way over here. Really appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break here on Summit Sunrise, but we will be back, so don't go anywhere.